Good morning and welcome to the OpsBase weekly webinar. Today we're going to talk about the different ways to create ops, and specifically I'm going to show you how to use the OpsBase Template Library to make a really good start using one of our templates as a base, which you can then optionally amend. There are several ways you can create ops in our system. The first one is just to start with a blank and empty op, and you can create your op from scratch. The other thing that you can do is take a copy of an op that you've already created, and then you can optionally amend that to fit your needs. And then the last option we just mentioned, which is to pick an op from the template library and again amend that as you need to. As well as showing you these ways of creating ops, I'm also going to give you a bonus time-saving tip. I'm logged into the OpsBase web app here, and when I click the plus button on the operations screen, it's going to take me through the different options for creating a new op plan. The first option selected is the ability to start from scratch, create an empty op plan. The next option is to create an op plan based on one of the existing templates in the template library. And the third option is to copy one of the op plans that already exists inside your system. This last option is an option that's only available to the support team at OpsBase. So starting off with the templates, which is really the focus of this webinar, when you click the next button, it takes you to a search and browse screen. So it loads up the template library, and then you can navigate through it in different ways. The first way is to look at the source of the information. So if you're in hospitality, Safer Food, Better Business may be a source that you trust, and therefore you want to use one of their templates. Sometimes you might like to look at more general compliance, and we've also compiled a section of best practice, which are ops that we've seen to work really well and we've made available to a wider community. Other options are to browse by category, so you might be interested in ops for your sector or ops that are specific to COVID-19. You can also browse by industry. As well as being able to browse, you can also search. So if we do a search for COVID as an example, it will bring up all the list of ops that have COVID in the title or in the description. And after you've done your search or you've browsed and found templates that look like they might be interesting, clicking on the mobile icon will bring up a preview of the op. Now, when you preview an op, it shows you everything that's in the op, but it does not allow you to make any changes. If you find ops that you think are relevant to you, you simply select them, the little blue tick will appear, and they will appear in the list at the top. So if I select a few ops here, the 4 indicates that there are more than what you can currently see. And then when you click again, that will untick them, or you can just use the little cross to remove them as well. Click Next, and all of the selected ops will be listed on this screen. If you've selected ops that you don't want, you still have the option to delete them and remove. And if you want to add more, you can always go back and select more. That's no problem. When you have got your full list of ops that you're interested in, there are a few options to help you get started with configuration. So the first one would be to select which sites the op can be performed at and which teams or positions can perform the op. There's also an option to enable the op plan immediately. Now, if you're going to make changes, you probably don't want to do this, but we do put this option here because quite often, and we do it ourselves sometimes, we forget to turn the ops on, and then we wonder when we're looking at the native app, where is the op? It's normally because it's not turned on. So this is the COVID-19 employee screening and incident report. If you want to, you can rename it and then simply click done. And all of the ops that will appear in this list, the ones that you've selected from the template library, will then appear in your list of ops. Not always on the first page, but again, you can always search if you want to. Now that you've loaded the op and it's no longer in the template library, you can make changes as you see fit and tailor it to work exactly for your business. So that is the process of taking an op from the template library and then amending it for your needs. The bonus tip is a quick way of creating ops when you're starting from scratch. So if we click the plus button, and this time we start from an empty op plan, first of all, give it a title. Click next, select where it can be performed, click done. And then we're into the familiar area that allows you to build out your list of questions or checks before you then go on to say which sites. We've already said all sites. Who, we've already said all teams. When would be the schedule. Your ops probably already exist in Word or Excel. And one of the things that you can do is copy and paste multiple questions at a time. So if your op looked something like this, where you have the instruction and then yes, no, or done, not done, you can actually copy these. One trick in Word is to hold down the Alt key on a keyboard, and it allows you just to select like a section of the text, not the right-hand side. But Control C to copy, and then we go back to our system and Control V to paste. What it does is it pastes each of those lines from Word as a new question in the ops plan. If you get any blank lines, you can just tidy them up. Something else that you might not be aware of is that, if this was a list question, for example, and maybe it was select site, you can also copy answers from Word and paste them into lists as well on the right hand side here. Again, if you need to change the order, you can just do drag and drop to change the order there. You can obviously also change the traffic light settings if you wish, and amend it however you want. If you are ever recreating an op that already exists in Word or Excel or a text file or something else, it's quick and easy to just copy and paste from that existing file into OpsBase, and every new line, every paragraph will come in as a new question for you to then tidy up, go through, and if you need to, change the question types. I forgot to mention that if you had any questions, to type those in the chat, but that concludes our live demo. So if I just return, I'll give you a couple of minutes to type questions in the chat. You can ask me questions about what you've seen just now, or if you have questions about anything else in the product, I'm happy to take those as well. Likewise, if nothing comes to mind immediately, but later on you want to get in touch with us, obviously you can do that through the chat widget inside the web app, or you can email us support@opsbase.com. The first questions come in saying, is it possible to copy and paste from Excel? The answer is yes. Most likely, and it depends how you've put the data into Excel. If you have every question inside a different cell, a different row in Excel, that will translate to being one line, one question inside OpsBase. But yes, you can copy and paste from Excel. Excellent. And we've just had a response saying, cool. Fingers crossed we'll save you some time with that one. Thank you for your question.